Danny Flexen for Seconds Out, delighted to be joined by Commonwealth cruiserweight champion Chris Billam-Smith, hoping to soon become the British champion as well. I guess first of all, before we talk about that big fight with Deion Jumah, I just want to catch up with last night's action, which I'm sure you watched. Not much else to do when you're in camp, regardless of lockdowns and so forth coming up. What did you make of Tommy McCarthy's performance, and how happy are you for him as another kind of relatively local cruiserweight that he's won the European title?
I'm happy for him necessarily, but mainly happy for myself watching the fight. It's good that it stays in Britain. I don't think the performance was great, and I think that was sort of everyone's point of view on it. I thought I could name probably 5 or 6 cruiserweights in Britain that could have beat both the lads based on their performances last night. I think Craig Glover would have beaten both of them. Me and Deion would have beaten both of them. I really didn't think it was that great a standard for a European title fight. Maybe it was the lack of a crowd or whatever, but I was quite shocked by it, to be honest. I thought it would be a better display from Tommy. But yeah, and then obviously he called out Maris Breedis after, which was also a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was. On the positive side, I suppose, the fact that he wasn't overly impressive, but it's a relatively easy fight, you would think, to make between the winner of you and Deion against Tommy McCarthy. That must give you hope of quickly progressing to European level. Yeah,
I mean, that'd be ideal for me. Obviously, we looked for that fight after the last fight, and that couldn't be made, and then this fight got offered to another great fight. So yeah, that makes sense. I think for the winner of me and Deion to fight Tommy, and I'd love that fight next.
And it is November 21st on the big Dillian Whyte Alexander Povetkin rematch show. Before we talk about the fight itself, what did you make of Richard Riakporhe, old rival of yours, of course, giving up the British title and thus enabling you and Deion Jumah to fight for it?
Yeah, I was quite shocked, to be honest. I thought he would fight Deion. I'm not sure what the plan is next. I'm sure we'll find out in good time. But yeah, I thought he'd fight Deion. I thought it'd be quite a good fight, to be honest. I thought the styles would gel fairly well. But yeah, it was. I was surprised. So I'm sure it will be explained in time. Maybe he's going down the WBA route, because he's got the Intercontinental title and he got the French guy Arsène Guillaumin, is it?
Yeah.
Who's obviously the WBA champion. So maybe he's looking down that route. But you'd think he's not going to get that fight next, more than likely. So yeah, you think that you'd defend your belt in the meantime, or something along those lines. But yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, but one I'm glad, because it gives me a chance to fight for the British title.
How much does that mean to you? Because I know the Commonwealth belt is a revered belt with a lot of history, but the British title takes it to another level, I think. And for someone like you who's grown up around the sport, really good amateur as well, I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, that the British title, the Lonsdale belt, means something to you.
Yeah, it's obviously such a prestigious belt. It's one that you watch, all the time on the old Saturday fight nights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you're an amateur and all those sort of things. So it's such a prestigious belt. It's a great looking belt, and it's one I'm looking forward to get my hands on. And I know a lot of greats have had it. I mean, we've been training Barry McGuigan's basement, basically. He's got a little gym down there. And there's a picture of him on the wall with the British title. So it's nice to get me through all my circuits and my strength sessions, because we've been training down there for those sessions. So it's nice to see that. And, so many great British boxers have won that title.
And for your kind of boxing sessions, are you still at the university, or are they allowing people in to use it at the moment? What's the situation with that?
Yeah, still at the university. We've got like a squash court within the university by the back door. So we get laying around the back basically, and it's doesn't interfere with any students or anything like that, and it's good for everyone.
And what do you make of Deion Jumah? Obviously, very talented, good amateur. Hasn't yet fought the quality of opposition that you have.
Yeah, Deion's a class operator. He's southpaw's tricky. I think he can hit harder than his record suggests as well. But yeah, he had a few years out of the sport. We've sparred as pro. He beat me as an amateur back in 2012 in the semi-finals of the ABAs. So yeah, but we sparred and always kept an eye on each other's careers. So it's a great fight. I think it's a really fan-friendly fight. Very much like me and Glover. He comes to bring it. He comes to have to fight. He's not negative. And I think it's a very fan-friendly fight. And I think that's what most people can expect. But yeah, I've obviously always followed Deion from before I boxed him, because I think he got to the final the year before I boxed him. He got to the final, lost to Simon Barkley, which was debatable. I actually thought he won the fight. So yeah, I've known about him for 9 or 10 years, and we know each other quite well now, and we've done plenty of round sparring together and stuff. And I always thought that we'd end up meeting as pros, and the fact that it's for a British title makes it all the more special.
You sparred him as pros, as you said. What did you notice a great deal of progress from when you'd fought him as an amateur? Obviously, a lot of intervening years.
Progress from him or myself or
well, I'm
both?
Sure there was progress from yourself, but that's easier to measure, I suppose. But did you notice progress from him?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's difficult when I think I'd improved a lot more. In that time, I think he hadn't had a lot of fights when we boxed, but he'd done a lot of kickboxing. And I'd had even less fights than he had. I think I'd had 19 fights when we boxed in the elite semi-finals. So I wasn't that experienced and wasn't even that experienced in sparring terms either, because I'm from down Bournemouth, and you lack the sparring and the training down here. And but yeah, it was I think when we sparred, we had some really good competitive spars as well. So it's like I said, it should just make for a great fight.
So you're not one of those, and I'm guessing Shane's not, that subscribe to the theory if you think you're going to fight someone in the future, don't spar them.
No. I mean, I've sparred every cruiserweight I can think of that's been available in the top 10. I sparred Chamberlain, Riakporhe, Lawrence before he joined, Glover, Deion, and they're probably 5 of the top 10 or so. Luke Watkins, I've sparred as an amateur. So yeah, no, we're not about that. That we don't try and keep it safe. I think the main goal is to progress and also see where you're at. And I mean, I've obviously been abroad sparring with Breedis, and then sparred Mickey Nielsen very early on before my pro debut as well. So there's some, Shane likes to spar us hard and spar good lads, and there's not a huge amount of cruiserweight, so you have to take the sparring you can get.
And talking of former star cruiserweights, what did you make of the main man last night, Alexander Usyk?
Yeah, I mean, he looked in a bit of bother early on. I don't think he expected that. Chisora sort of, came for war, and which is great to see. There's always a worry that he's not going to show up, but it turned out to be a great fight, and I had him, winning the fight probably 8-4 in rounds. He found his feet and got comfortable and started slowing Chisora down a bit, and just when Chisora was having his breaks, was winning the rounds by just doing most of the work and doing what he does best, which is obviously moving, using his feet and all those attributes.
And do you ever think about one day, in the distant future, when you've achieved all you want to as a cruiserweight, ever moving up to heavyweight? If you, fill out a bit more, is that something that's in your thoughts?
It's not in my thoughts, but it's not out of my thoughts, if that makes sense. There's never say never sort of thing in this sport at the moment. I'm just focused on doing what I can as a cruiserweight, and then we'll just see where my career is in a few years' time. And once I've achieved those goals, we'll see where we're at and sit down with the team and decide then. I mean, I'm not massive for cruiserweight, but I'm not small for it either. So, you know, it's not like you'd be able to, you would look at me and go, I'll naturally move up to heavyweight and campaign there and fight all the big blokes and stuff like that. But like I said, never say never, but would just focus on November 21st.
And the standard kind of interview question for anyone fighting during this period, how are you feeling about fighting with no crowd in attendance?
Well, obviously the last fight I was fortunate enough to have box at fight camp against Nathan Forley. So
of course, yeah.
Fortunate to have that experience. But and funny enough, in my second fight, I boxed at Wembley Arena, which is where this one is. And the doors weren't even open yet. All my fans eventually got in just as the bell was going. So I've got that experience already of boxing at Wembley Arena without anyone there. And I've also got the experience, obviously, from the fight camp shows. I know what the whole fight week's about. I enjoyed it last time, and I think it'll be very, very similar this time. I'm just very aware and grateful that I'm lucky to have boxed twice in this period. Providing everything goes well with November 21st, to have 2 fights in the space of this year is something I'm very, very fortunate to be in that position and get opportunities a lot of other people haven't.
I can't believe I forgot the Thorley fight. It must have been because you ended it so early. That's my excuse anyway. I remember the right hand that finished it, but yeah, it completely blanked it. It was at fight camp. Oh, good stuff. All right, well, I'm going to let you get off because I know you've got something to attend to. It sounds a bit weird when I say it like that, but yeah, you're going to have dinner, of course, which will be great. I'll probably do the same. But really appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to the Jumah fight, November 21st.
Brilliant. Cheers, Danny. Thanks for your time, mate.
Take care, mate. Speak soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.